travel. I understand that. I understand that. But the strength of this movement, and this is what I talked about yesterday with people that weren't even in the movement. The strength of this movement is that you take this information, you take this show, you take what you've learned here, you understand that members of our military and higher commands, generals and colonels, are behind us. They ain't all the bad guys. The police, and especially our veterans, they aren't the bad guys. They're not there working for you. We all took that oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Take what you learn. Take from this show. Take from the information that's available to you, ONOAS, and apply it in your town, in your neighborhood, in your county, We can do this county by county, sheriff by sheriff, mayor by mayor. Not all of them are the good guys. You know, there are people that got their hand out to the bankers, and the bankers are supplying them with the money and the advertising for their campaigns. You can only vote for the people that you know, and if the press ain't telling you, if the mainstream press ain't telling you about the good guys, then you're not going to know, and you're not going to know to support them. You got to get your information from an alternate source. That's why I created the Free American. That's why I do this radio show, to give you a direct source to people like Colonel Riley, to people like Laurel, that are working hand in hand with a lot of other people to bring this about, just to get the information to you, so you can use it in your county, in your town, in your neighborhood. Just in your neighborhood. If nothing else, take this information, take this list of demands, print off 50 copies, and go out and hand it to all of your neighbors. A lot of people don't have the internet. A lot of people don't know how to use the internet. A lot of people, and you know, that's why I published for 10 years at least. I published the Free American in a hard copy form that you could just hand to somebody. Well, you can still just hand it to it. You just got to print it off yourself now.
Yeah, and Clayton, I will get you I don't know if you have the copy of the documents that out that you know, the people could for themselves and print. And part of the documents, there is a form there that is a paper copy of this petition that you just pulled up on the internet for the people that are internet, you know, don't have access, don't like to get on it. Because I did check with Terry, we can take your name, because all we're asking for is the first and last name and email if you've got it, and a zip code. And if you don't want your name shown, we can put that. But he said if we get those, we bring those hard copies with us to Washington, and they will be as effective as you signing this electronic petition. So again, yeah, print out that articles of our list of grievances. There's also a couple of one-pages that are very good to explain what Operation American Spring is. I'm asking everybody that's hearing this to share it with 5, 10, 15 people. If you're on Facebook, just make a posting, please, because we've got trying to get the word out, because most people still do not know about this, believe it or not.
Well,
and so we've got, you know, and so there may be people that can go, that have the money, that can help some of us, though, that just don't know about us yet.
Well,
so
that's why I need you to send me those documents. Send it to me by email, and I will include that this May issue. Now, every show this month, for the month of April, has been devoted to Operation American Spring. Now, this issue, the May issue that I'm working on right now, I've got news stories about Nevada, but the main thrust of this and the cover of this magazine will be devoted to Operation American Spring. And I am asking you folks, get a copy. You can do that at shop.freeamerican.com. The latest issue. You can pull down 11 issues of the magazine for free off of freeamerican.com. The latest issues are $2.99. $2.99 at shop.freeamerican.com. Now, I'm asking you to, you buy one of them, you can send it to 100 people on your list, on your email list. You can send a PDF to them, and it will have everything that Laurel has been talking about here. Everything we've been talking about. It's all going to be in there, including what's happening in Harry Reid's state of Nevada and the attack on the ranchers. You need to know about that too, because it could happen to you. It could happen to you. It could happen to your state. It is happening here in Texas. 160 acres along the Red River is being targeted by the BLM or by the government. So it's really a matter of education here, folks. You need to make your neighbors aware. They may not know it. I used to tell people, if you're going to join the militia, here's what I want you to do. Take your weapon out, clean it, load it, shoot the TV. You'll be better off.
Preferably shoot the TV outside.
But, you know, I've been involved in presidential politics from coast to coast in 1996. I worked with the first Republican to sign up for the presidency. His name was Charles Collins, but you may not have heard of him because every time he got up to speak at the Republican convention from Maine to California, every cameraman on stage turned the camera off and pointed it at the ground. Why? Because he wanted to issue United States notes, just like Kennedy. Take back the power to print money from the private bank and put it back in the hands of the people, like Kennedy tried to do right before they killed him. So it's really a matter, you know, a lot of people did know Charles Collins because of my efforts and other Patriots and other Patriot talk shows that had him on, and a lot of people realized he was a really good man, but a lot of them didn't know. And a lot of people didn't have internet back then. A lot more have got them now. A lot more have got it on their cell phones and all that. So we've really come a long ways in 20 years. We've got the technology has allowed us more access. Today, you can buy the Free American magazine for $2.99. You can buy the April issue, and the May issue will be up hopefully within the week. You can buy that and read it on your cell phone. Your cell phone will, you can read a PDF document on your cell phone, can't you? We've got the technology. We've got the and so the communication, your ability to share this. I've got thousands of friends on Facebook. My Facebook site's Free American 69. This show goes up on Free American 69 on Facebook as soon as it's over. Actually, before. So, you got Facebook? Tell your friends about Free American 69.
And Operation American Spring's on Facebook as well. Please take a minute to find that. And a lot of the states, I made a Facebook page for South Dakota. If you want to come join, like my page, please feel free, because a lot of stuff, I believe almost every state probably has the same, has a Facebook page present. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for people just to share our links. Again, we've got to get this message out to as many people as we can, and God willing that these people will step up to the plate to be there, to help support people like Clayton and myself that can be there, are financially strapped, which I understand most of us in this country are at this point. But also, you know, if you've got a room, if you've got some gas money, if you've got some food, I mean, we're looking for medical supplies. You know, we are setting up an operation, and we're looking for ham operators across the country to be able to communicate. Because if they shut down the internet, they shut down the cell phone service, similar to what they did in Nevada. You know, how are we going to get the word out? How will American people know what is going on in D.C.? So there's so much we can do. And if I could, Clayton, to stress what you were talking about, if nothing else, when's the last time that you go to a school board meeting? You know, take your piece of this world, if it's your kids, get involved in their education. You know, I mean, everybody, we can't tackle everything. Find what you're passionate about and focus on it and do something about it. We haven't even addressed the Agenda 21 thing that's about to gobble us up under the UN blessing. You know, but there's so much. There's all these new sustainability things that are starting to hit small towns, and I call small towns something like Cheyenne, Wyoming. You know, it's coming, folks. It's not just the East Coast. It's not just the major cities. It is hitting us all across this country, and it's just slowly creeping in and taking over. So we've got to get involved from our county to our city to our municipalities. We've got to get down that far if we're ever really going to clean up the problem that we've got in D.C.
Well,
but,
we've got some other access up here. One of the banners I've got is the Constitution Club USA. CBU is, I believe, what they're going to be going to. constitutionclub.ning.com. They are providing websites for every county across America to get this information out, Keith Broders is on my show on a regular basis. Got it up here, got it up there. We've got, you know, just like we've got Operation American Spring above that. You know, we are setting up the communication. We're taking it back from the mainstream media.
Yes.
And, you know, got it right up here that many state groups are organizing convoys, buses, and train events to come to Washington, D.C. on May 16th. Collaborate, pool resources to make it to this historical event. Americans are known for their independent-minded spirit and self-sufficiency. With this in mind, food, water, shelter, etc. is up to the individual groups that choose to participate. There's no end date to this, so be prepared for the long haul. We will be standing unified against the ever-invasive and at times tyrannical federal government that may choose to confront Operation American Spring. We do not condone or expect violence to occur. It's up to you to be physically able and prepared for all contingencies. That's right up on the Free American. It's right above the Constitution Club, and it's right below Operation American Spring. We are doing this, folks. We can do this. And I've heard so many times, Laurel, well, I'm just one man. Well, I just don't want to call attention to myself. I just want to stay below the radar. I believe they have a term for that. I think it's called cowardness.
I'm glad you said it. That's not me. Yes.
Well, I'll call a coward a coward. You know, a few years back, I walked into a bar. Remember, I'm an old biker, so, you know, I do go into bars. And I walked into a bar, and a guy came up and said, "You're Clay Douglas, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, I recognize you right away because you put your picture in your magazine." I said, "Yeah, I do that." "Why do you do that?" I said, "Well, because it's my magazine. Why wouldn't I do that?" "Well, you know, there's people out there that don't like what you've got to say." "Oh, Oh, I see. You mean somebody might not like what I got to say, might not like me exercising my First Amendment rights, might not like it that I got an opinion. You think they might want to hurt me or beat me up or something? Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, bud, here I am. Come on. Oh, not me, not me, not me. No, no, no. But, well, now you know why I put my picture in my magazine. I want you to know who I am. You know, and I've walked in the FBI office and laid down a bundle of magazines with my picture in it. Told them I brought one for every agent in the building. Just wanted you to know who I am. Because there should be no problem between me and law enforcement. We all took the same oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. If you haven't taken that oath, did you stand up in school and say the Pledge of Allegiance? We've all got a dog in this fight.
Yep.
And if you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it. You need to be doing it for your children, your family, your friends, because they may not have the courage that you have. And
well,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I just can only speak from from a personal standpoint. Is that, yeah, you know, I mean, this is. I have other things I'd rather be doing than going to D.C. May 16th. You know, we all do. And no offense to the people out there, but I find a lot of the reasoning behind not going excuses. And it's time to make a sacrifice. If you truly love this country, is that too much to ask? I mean, I'm not asking you to give up your home, give away every worldly possession that you covet. I'm asking you to make the time. Maybe you're going to miss somebody's graduation. But guess what? They may never, ever have another graduation if we don't do this. You may miss a wedding. There's more weddings that could be lost if we don't do this. These to me are minor sacrifices compared to what our military is doing for us every day overseas right now. And, you know, for what? So if you can't stand up and take, you know, show some strength, get rid of that fear, put that fear behind you, because like you said earlier, that's what they feed on, that's what they want. Don't be afraid. There's no reason to be afraid. They're afraid of us. So make those sacrifices for one time in your life. Be there, be with us, stand with us, and help us peacefully get this country back to us. We can take care of it. We will put it on the right track, and we will go forward. I talked on one radio show. I loved it. Oh, I don't want to go back, but we're going to have to take our country back to move it forward in the direction that it needs to go, because the direction we're going right now is the wrong direction.
That's right, and you know, maybe it would help you folks if you think of this. They're really psychic vampires. They feed off of your fear.
Mhm.
Don't give them that. Don't give them that pleasure. Don't give them that pleasure.
Don't give them that satisfaction. Don't give them that energy.
And
stand up.
What are you afraid of, man? Come on, guys. Listen, I've died 2 or 3 times. I mean, literally. You know, went down that whole path to the shining light ahead, and turned around and came back. I mean, it's possible. It's possible I've been kicked out of heaven 2 or 3 times. I seem to recall somebody saying, nah, you got work to do. Get back in that body.
Yeah.
But
we're not ready for you yet.
Yeah, either that or I've been kicked out of hell because the devil was afraid I'd take over. I'm not sure which.
Well, if I could, I may ruffle some feathers here, but I'm calling all the Christians that call themselves Christians. What are you afraid of? You know, there should be no fear, because God will protect you. God is with you. God will look after us. There is nothing to fear. Stand up. Be a part of this. Quit taking the lines and the lies that they're giving us. It's just like you want to shake people and wake up. And I realize that some will not wake up, but I see it every day. One or two people wake up. Those one or two that are awake, you have questions, call into Douglas's show, go read a magazine, go online. There's all kinds of alternative talk shows, and learn. Listen, do your own research. Find out what really is going on. You will be shocked. And you'll go, how did I believe this for so long?
Well,
and then go try to wake someone else up. Because the more awake we are as citizens, the more we can do to better this country.
I was just on, sometimes late at night, I'm on other shows, other blog talk shows, just to let people know that we got to work together here. This is just information, not just to send somebody to my site, but get this information out. We got a chance to organize. We got a chance to get together with our people, with the Colonel Riley here, and all of the people that are trying to do this right, that are trying to put the numbers together that we need in order to defeat this enemy among us. Remember that, especially if you're an oath keeper, that was all enemies, foreign and domestic. So they don't carry ID cards. You judge people by their actions. And it ain't black, it ain't white, it ain't Republican, it ain't Democrat. I know people that are really great people that are Democrats. I know really good people that are Republicans. Black or white, it doesn't matter. We don't need to fight among ourselves. We need to understand that this Constitution, this country, was put together by good people, for good people, for a moral people.
Yes.
And you can ask yourself, is this good for me? Is it good for my children? If it's not, then it ain't the right thing.
Right.
You just gotta ascertain what is good. It ain't that hard.
And what is important.
That's right. It really ain't that hard.
And may I also interject, this is something that I've come to some sort of self-realization. It's not about me, it's about God. And so it gets into, is it good for me? Don't be so self-centered that it's all about you. It's all about us. It's all about us as American citizens.
That's right.
It's all about your community. It's all about the way that you choose to live your life and the people you interact with, the people you love, the people you respect.
You got the choice, folks. I mean, you're born into this world, and you're given a gift. It's called free will. And you can choose whether you want to be good or evil. You can choose. You got the choice here. I don't think God don't make it mandatory. Don't make nothing mandatory. You got free will. You got freedom of choice. You can decide whether you want to be good or evil, and it's not that hard to ascertain, folks. Not that hard. They want you fighting with each other. They want you finding fault. They want to spread dissension. That's really what the media is about. Making you afraid, confusing you, giving you so many multiple choices. And you can rise above that, folks. Certainly can.
And if I could add demonizing people and spreading the lie. I mean, when you look at the Bundys being considered domestic terrorists now, the people standing up to help them, we're domestic terrorists. We are patriots just trying to defend this country and doing what is our responsibility of standing up to this tyranny. But we have been demonized.
You know, exactly right. They have done that to me. Well, Clay started the militias. I sure did. I did it in the governor's office. And under the show that we've done today on Blog Talk Radio, I also had this at the end of this. Every American needs to understand that the entire national press is controlled and is simply giving you the news you are supposed to have. Very soon, all alternative sources of news, including this website, will be shut down. That time draws ever closer. And I've got this, and this is from a document filed 200 years ago, found 200 years ago. In order to put public opinion into our hands, we must bring it into a state of bewilderment by giving expression from all sides to so many contradictory opinions, and for such a length of time as will suffice to make the average person lose their heads in the labyrinth and come to see that the best thing is to have no opinion of any kind in matters political. That's protocol number 5 from the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. And, you know, somebody will immediately stand up and scream, well, that's a forgery. Don't you know that's a forgery? Well, if it's a forgery, what's a forgery? It's an exact copy of the original. And if this is 200 years old, it really don't matter who wrote it, they're dead. It matters is who is using this, and this is what our mainstream news is doing. Giving you so many different opinions, so many contradictory opinions, you just go around and scratch your head and say, well, nothing I can do about it. That's what they want you to feel. They want you to feel a sense of helplessness. They want you to feel a sense of fear. And it's not necessary. It is not necessary. It's a clear choice. You want to be good? You want to be evil? You want to do what's right? Or you just want to keep doing what's wrong? That's the choice our congressmen have already made, and that's why we're having Operation American Spring and demanding that those congressmen be removed, that president being removed. It's happened before, and we've removed them. Remember Richard Nixon? Remember Watergate?
I do.
And, you know, remember Bill Clinton? I did not have sex with that woman.
Yep. And people like you and me who perjured themselves under oath would be in jail.
That's right. That's right. We, you know, and keep in mind, folks, you know, with all the demonization, Laurel talked about demonization. I've certainly had my share. But I've walked into the FBI office and laid a bundle of my controversial magazine down on their desk. Told them I brought one for every agent you got in the building. And I also walked out. You know, they looked at me and smiled and said, oh, we know who you are, Clay. And I was able to walk out. And, you know, now, I do want to make a quick comment here because I lost a friend. We lost a good patriot by the name of Michael Rupert. They say that he committed suicide by self-inflicted gunshot wound. I don't know whether that's true or not. And of course, they told you I had an accident. I don't believe that was true back in 2004. But Michael Rupert was a good man. We worked together. We knew each other. Back when I started the Free American in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with the Wake Up America group in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We brought in speakers like Mark Carnegie. We brought speakers in like Senator Charles Duke, I believe, out of Colorado. You know, and I started the Free American, and I started the militia in Governor Gary Johnson's office. He would have made a good president, but they didn't tell you about him either. He was running under the Libertarian Party. Mike Rupert was a good man. He was born in 1951. He died on April 13th, 2014. I've got links up on Facebook, Free American 69, to some of the shows and some of the information. He told you about the drug dealing that I told you about in Mystery Babylon. It's a great loss. And I can actually understand whether it was really suicide, whether somebody else pulled the trigger. I don't know. Probably never will. But I know that those thoughts have crossed my mind when it seemed like it was hopeless, when it seemed like I couldn't make a move without being demonized, without getting things done. Go. He told you the same thing I've been telling you about Operation Watchtower, about George Bush, about the Mossad, and this was he was a police officer. He was in worked with the DEA. He was got a little different attitude than I've got toward it, but he was a good man. We worked together, we knew each other, and we helped start this whole patriot movement. We'll miss you, Mike Rupert. But keep it in mind, folks, it could happen to us at any time. They tried to do it to me, and they've done it to others. Some of us they've put in prisons, like my friend William Tyree, who worked for Colonel Catolo. They murdered his wife, framed him for the murder, and that's all. His story is in Mystery Babylon. It's actually a never-ending battle. There's never been a time in history, Laurel, when it was easy to be free. You could always there were times when you could be hit in the head and shanghaied and end up rowing a boat across an ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So, Operation American Spring is what we're promoting here. It's what we're talking about. It's going to be on May 16th. Get there beforehand. Make arrangements. There are people like me that need help getting there.
Yep. And like I said, if everybody check out OperationAmericanSpring.org, there's all you just sign in, register your username and password. You can check out all the forums. There's state groups. You can check out your state group activities. Every state needs volunteers. And then there's forums for lodging, for sharing rides, for donating money to help people. If you see somebody that you'd like to sponsor, we've got people that are willing to sponsor folks. So get in there, get involved, and please get the word out. Again, that's OperationAmericanSpring.org. If anybody types in Operation American Spring on Facebook, I'm sure you'll come up with several Facebook pages. Mine will be there. The national groups is there. Most likely your state's group will be there. Texas is very, very heavily involved in this. And if there's not, why don't, if there is nobody being the coordinator for your state, please consider becoming one. Please, any way you can, get the word out about our group and our mission. And Clayton, I want to thank you for dedicating this month to our organization and to allowing me to come on and share some time with you today.
It's my pleasure, Laurel. And I appreciate you staying a little bit longer here.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
And I've got a Facebook page up here, facebook.com, Operation American Spring Target.
Mhm.
It's all Washington, Washington,
I just sent you a friend's request, okay, on Facebook too.
Great.
So we'll get hooked up that way too.
All right, we got that, and let's see here. This show will be up there. I didn't get everything up on YouTube. We had, but
and I will send you those documents so you can get those posted. And folks, if you go to my Facebook page, which is Operation American Spring, South Dakota, you can see I've got one of the postings there is the documents that we are presenting to the to the senators and representatives, and also I believe those are also posted on the two national websites as well. But the easiest way I'm finding is to find them on Facebook through some of these Facebook state pages and the Operation American Spring Facebook page too.
All right. If you've sent me a friend request, I will get that, and got it right here.
Okay.
And let's see, I got a friend request from George H.W. Bush. Yeah, sure, I'll add you, George.
Yeah.
I'll add you.
He's one of my friends. I sent him a suggestion.
oh, wait a minute. It says Bush has one friend. Help him find more. And you've got, we've got you. I've got you entered as a friend, as a close friend, so you can now post on Free American 69.
Okay, great.
And if you'll do that, and this show,
I shared your Blog Talk Radio on my Facebook page right before I came on, to let people know I was coming on, and I'll do the same so that they'll know that Colonel Riley's going to be on tomorrow, and to check it out.
Great.
If anybody's got any questions, because I know a lot of people have questions. If you do have questions, please don't hesitate to Facebook and message me, send me an email or whatever you want to do, or ask your state representative, because if you've got any concerns, questions, let's get those out, let's get them answered, so that you can have full faith in what we are doing and what we are all about, and hopefully you'll join us in our cause.
Well, I got to say something about that. This is I find this to be pretty much the strangest thing out in the world here. On all of my websites, libertyvillages.org, freeamerican.com, freeamerican69 on Facebook, I've got my phone numbers, I've got my cell numbers, I've got my Skype numbers, I've got my email, clay@freeamerican.com, in case you want to make a donation via PayPal. And I've got all that up there, and my phone rarely rings. I don't know. Am I so intimidated? They can't see how tall I am. They can't see how mean I look over the internet. I don't know. Why don't you call? Why don't you call and say, hello, Clay, I like the show. I mean, it's something just to let me know that you're alive out there and haven't been zombified or anything like that yet. I I got the same problem if I walk into a bar in bumfuck Egypt. It doesn't matter. Nobody comes up and talks to me. So maybe it's the pheromones. I don't know. Laurel Hendricks, thank you for being with me, dear. You're doing wonderful work.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right,
God
guys.
bless everyone.
We're
Take care.
we're
Bye-bye.
out of time here. We're out of time. Thank you very much. Again, freeamerican.com, shop.freeamerican, libertyvillages.org, and I'll be updating that as we get more plans for that. God bless you all. Have a great day. See you tomorrow with Colonel Harry Riley. I'm off.
Okay. I went and did some of the stuff you just had on your show, on my Facebook.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, they blocked me.
What?
Yes, they blocked me for 24 hours because of some kind of authentication of information that I was trying to put out.
You're in the room with me and they want to authenticate it?
I don't know what happened, but as soon as I put in Operation American Springs, I put in your site, I put in Constitution.com, I put in a couple of others that you had said, my Facebook went off.
Huh.
I was trying to send a message out, I wrote the message, and I tried to send it, and as soon as I pushed the send button, it was almost immediate, like somebody was sitting there watching my Facebook. Now, is it because I have Clay Douglas coming into my site every day?
Could be.
Or what?
I don't know.
So, I got 24 hours I can't do Facebook. So I'm going to make it work out. Because I can still get to my contact names.
Alright, what's our schedule today? What are we going to do?
Got to get off in America. I've got to get dressed, got to take the dogs out, I've got to have little things, and then we've got to have you ready for the doctor's at
Hang on.